Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So recently we had a look at a performance that was sent to me by Tim Welch from Tim Welch Vocal Studio on YouTube, and he was looking at performance and started to notice that things sounded very similar, and then we found that yeah, it was actually just the same audio file being played back for this particular event, and it was perfectly timed, and the vocal was exactly the same vocal as it was on both of those nights. And I know that a lot of people have had different discussions in the comments section about potentially the performance was live, but then another vocal from a previous performance was put over the top afterwards and all that kind of stuff. But in order for that to happen, it has to be the same backing. And when you're talking about an orchestra performing, an orchestra never performs exactly the same thing twice, exactly the same, to the same hundredth of a second, especially when you're talking about a long piece that might be 3 or 4 minutes in length with multiple vocalists. If it's exactly the same timing wise, it's the same audio file, and it was the same audio file and the same vocal. So yeah, the post-editing explanation still doesn't cover what we were looking at in that particular video. But anyway, because with my analysis videos, I'm pointing out what's happening. So we were hearing a vocal that happened, I think, 4 years earlier, from 2016 to 2020. And I'm not having a go at the singer, and I am not saying that the singer has recorded a vocal and run away to their digital audio workstation, Logic Pro 11, whatever they might use, and now are pitch correcting their own voices for then the mainstream release of their song or their performance. I'm not saying it's the artists doing this. I'm saying that this is an industry-wide issue and that it is an industry standard, so that great singers are having their vocals edited before they're being heard, which is the problem, that we're not hearing great voices. We're hearing a producer's interpretation of what they thought the great singer's voice should have sounded like. So for people that might comment and say, oh, why are you exposing this artist or exposing that singer? I'm not exposing any singers. I'm exposing what's happening to their voices after they have performed, and I'm just pointing out exactly what's going on and using objective data to do it. So we're going to be taking a look at Lara Fabian again tonight, because this video is going to be highlighting exactly my point in all of the videos that I do of a similar nature, and it's from Lara with Love. So we have crowd shot footage of this event that was being recorded for TV, and we have the TV release. And remember, this is ages ago. So what I'm going to do is just let them play from left to right. We've got the crowd shot footage on the left, we've got the TV release on the right hand side. So let's have a listen to this.
Tell me her name, I want to know. The way she looks and where you go.
So straight off the bat, you will hear, of course, it's going to be perfectly synchronized, because this is the TV and this is actually there in the studio. They're recording the same vocal. I say that. The person who was there is recording the actual vocal. The person who's edited this has heard the vocal and thought, hang on, that C4 was a little bit sharp, so I'm going to move that down. And this is the problem. This is what I'm saying in all of my videos, that I've been asked to look at this performance because people think it's so perfect it has to be mimed or lip synced, but it is not. The reason it comes across like that is because somebody is post editing it. So let me now get rid of the TV performance so we can hear this atrocity of a live vocal that a producer has decided he or she needed to change.
Tell me her name, I want to know.
I mean, and look at the pitch accuracy that Lara has.
The way she looks and where you go. I need to see her face, I need
I mean, it's just great to hear a live vocal, but you can also hear that this is undoubtedly her voice going into this microphone because a person is sitting there recording it on their phone.
Tell me again, I want to hear.
Really subtle here where we are just below this line and then we're perfectly over the line. So the problem with this is that some people will be able to hear that it's perfectly over, A440 standard pitch equal temperament. And they'll think, well, because this was a live TV event or released on TV as a live performance, then they'll think, well, it can't be perfect all the time over the lines because that's what it sounds like, so it must be mimed. It must be lip-synced if it's that perfect because it will sound manufactured. But it was genuinely live, but it has been changed. So this is the point. I'm saying that the singers don't know it's going on potentially, and they are definitely, when we're talking about mainstream releases like this, Lara is not doing this. It's a producer that's doing this. So I'm not having a go at her. I'm not trying to expose her or any other artist. I'm just going to tell you what's going on so that we can get a wider view of the music industry, not only now, but going back 20 or more years, that there started this tendency to want everything to be overly perfect, to be tuned, and it starts to sound a bit weird. So this is why when people accuse potentially great singers of lip syncing or miming, they weren't miming, but it's been changed by the time it's then released on TV and through mass media, and the people that can hear it assume that it must be. The other crazy thing is that we're going back, 20 years? I mean, I said, 1999, year 2000, around then, in terms of when this might have been recorded, but this was released in the USA in 2001, and Melodyne, its first iteration, was released in 2001. So we have had in the music industry just this shift to now wanting to correct everything. And here we can see that the G4 was slightly sharp and now it's over the line. So it's amazing how quickly this was taken on by the industry and by producers to think, well, over the last 40 years we haven't had a problem. So why now start applying this to great singers' voices? I mean, I've said many times on the channel, it absolutely doesn't make sense. When you're looking at how accurate she is anyway on the left-hand side, it is crazy. But anyway, as we run through, you'll just see exactly the same thing. And because the first version of pitch correction, and certainly in the late 90s, it was possible to apply digital pitch correction, but it was a lot more labor intensive. It would take a long time. As we have a little look through this, obviously it's the same vocal, but one's pitch corrected and one isn't. So as we keep on going through it, you'll just see the same thing over and over again. But this is a really good example here, because another theory could be that maybe Lara was just singing perfectly flat all the time, and all they've done is move her vocal up a little bit. Or, considering that, maybe it was recorded on tape, most likely not in 2001, or around the year 2000, everything was digital back then. I know, because I was using Cubase SX back then. So, it would have most likely been a digital recording of this, but let's just say that it was on tape and that everything was then running a bit slowly, and then it had to be sped up to then be in tune. It wouldn't explain this. The fact that we've got the B4, directly over the line, and the B4 directly over the line, and the C5 directly over the line, and the C5 sharp of the line. So it means that we've got independent pitch accuracy here. We've got the vocal moving with one note, but then not moving with another note. So it shows that we've got another example down here, actually. The A4 absolutely bang over the line and is flat of the line over here. So we've got on the line, off the line, off the line, and here we've got on the line, on the line, on the line. So that theory, again, doesn't stack up. It shows that somebody has been in here and edited Lara's vocal with their eyes. So they are looking at these lines and deciding that, no, you're not allowed to go up there. Even though it might be part of your expression, I believe that the note you meant to hit was this one. So I'm going to move it there. What I do want to do is just quickly jump into listening to the actual performance on the night from this crowd shot footage so that we can hear Lara's voice. And I mean, links are in the description below as always. You can watch the performances there, but just listen to this. I mean, hopefully I won't get a copyright block from playing this through, but let's have a listen and see how bad it is that it obviously needed pitch correction.
Tell me the words I never said. Show me the tears you never shed. Give me the touch that's when you promised to be mine. But has it vanished for all time? I let you go.
And by the way, that was what somebody decided needed correcting, that C5. And it just sounds absolutely spot on. It sounds great. You don't need to change that.
Why do I keep on asking why? I let you go.
And I mean, what's crazy here is they are choosing to correct a voice like this, a voice that is this accurate anyway. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I think I'm just going to move it forward because the isolated vocal drops out for a second.
I close my eyes and dream of you lying there, and I realize there's more to.
And this is it. Great singers will hit these lines now and again because you always get this reset of having the line being hit, but then the expression of lines not being hit. And this is the point, that being on this line and then not being on the line, you get a dynamic change in expression. So it means that this note here has expression to it because it's not the same as the other ones. So it means that we're not hearing the same expression over and over and over again. This expression is different to this one, which is different to this one. So when you get them, or notes on lines all the time, is somebody giving you the same expression, and that's why it starts to sound weird, because it is like a computer or like an android human is giving you the same thing every single time. There's no dynamic change in the emotion of the note. So this is it, and this is why you will see great singers on the lines, and it doesn't mean that if they hit a line there's no expression in that. It just means that it happened to be there, but it's got its own unique expression when compared with the rest of the vocal performance.
There's more to life than only picturesque lights. I close my eyes.
And there, look at the way that Lara is flat of the G4, and she just takes you on a bit of a journey with her voice and ascends to then hit the G4 right at the end of the note, and she's pretty much absolutely bang on that G4 in terms of looking at that line. But look at the journey she's taken you on. She's taken you on a journey of pitch. So let's bring on the TV release and see what a producer has decided to do to Lara's voice. He or she has looked at this and thought, okay, I see what you do there, Lara. You've taken people on a journey with your voice from a pitch perspective, and then you're leaving them in the perfect destination. But rather than doing that, I think what you meant to do was go a little bit flat and then be perfectly on the G4 and then go a little bit sharp. So I'm going to change your expression to the opposite of what you did. Rather than being flat and ascending to the note, I'm going to put you on the note and then make you go sharp. So there you go. That is, I mean, and this is back in 2001. It shows you just the ridiculousness of not only pitch correction, but somebody having the opinion who isn't a singer to do this and decide what the singer wanted to do, and that they accidentally did this, but they must have meant to do this, and literally putting their voice sharp when it never went sharp. The expression was taking you on a journey to perfectly where you should have been at the end of that journey. So yeah, it really does show how crazy it all is. But this is the point of this video, and the videos that I make, is that we have a vocal performance that was amazing without pitch correction. And then it's been pitch corrected before being released in 2001. So even back then, you know, the mainstream music industry, but the mainstream media, everything that's getting released is starting to be tweaked away from what the artist did to now what the producer thinks it should have been. Which is ridiculous. But anyway, thank you guys for requesting to take a look at this video, even though I think it's probably the opposite to what people were expecting, having heard the pitch corrected version that was released on TV. But I mean, it's great that I can show the difference between what actually happened and then what you hear on TV afterwards. But yeah, as always, let me know what you guys think, and keep those suggestions for future videos coming in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!